Welcome everybody. I am back with another video on this day, and basically let's just get right into it. My last UFC video, it did pretty well in terms of my channel, at least, right? It did pretty decent. So that's what I'm doing today. Again, I'm coming at you with another UFC breakdown as of this moment in time. Once again, disclaimer, I'm just a fan. I'm not no professional. I don't really know too much about, I'm into it, but I'm not, and I'm invested, but I'm not a professional, so this is just from a fan's point of view. But anyways, so here's the breakdown, right? We have UFC 303 coming up here shortly, and I believe this weekend from when I'm making this video, right? And so let's just break it down of where we're at and where the UFC's is at as of right now. And I think the best way to start that is discussing the one and the only, the notorious Conor McGregor, right? That's the the name everybody knows, and so that's what everyone's talking about right now. Okay, so here's the deal with that. He was supposed to fight Michael Chandler at UFC 303. He was supposed to fight him this weekend, but that got canceled. It was supposed to be a thing, but then it got canceled due to injury, is what I'm seeing from Dana White and Conor himself. I might roll a clip. I don't know. There might be clips randomly throughout this video. I don't know, but Conor, he pulled out of the fight. He had an injury. I'm not sure exactly what the injury was related to, but I can only assume that it has to do with his leg. And I heard that his body was rejecting the metal rod implant, or something happened with that. I'm not really sure on that, so don't chirp me, you know what I mean? Like, don't come at me. Let me know in the comments if you know, but don't come at me. I'm not sure, but it's probably safe to assume there's a complication with his leg, and that's why he had to pull out.
And show my support.
How are you? How is the foot? Obviously, the cancellation happened. Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, it's tough, but we keep it dialed in. We keep it dialed in. I was kind of looking forward to getting the fight wrapped up June 29th, having a nice celebration on my birthday, and then dialing back in for some time of a September date, or September, October, something like that. Look, we just adjust. Everything is moving parts, So I'm good. The injury is a nuisance. It's painful. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very painful. Probably even more painful than the leg, and that's the truth. And I tell you why, because the leg at least was wrapped up. I couldn't access it. The foot is just there still. Do you get me? It's like it's exposed or something. So it's a bit painful, but it comes with the fucking territory. I need to just dial it in, get my training camps correct. I'm not trying to be hurt in the gym, and I'm not trying to hurt people in the gym either. I'm trying to get to these fights 100%. And that's what every fighter, should be looking for, and every training partner should be looking for the fighters that they are helping. That's the goal. And when you do that, you win. And, I'm very close to getting there. I had a little lapse in concentration, a wake-up call from myself, from my coaches, and my training partners. And I'm going to recalibrate, readjust, recuperate, and return.
Now, I saw from Chael Sonnen, he made a post, or he was on a podcast or something. He's saying that Conor has beef with Pacquiao, and that him and Pacquiao might end up fighting in a boxing match. And that's what I was also going to say. I think Conor McGregor fights one more time in the UFC to solidify his, his status, right? I think he fights one more time. If that, he might not even fight again at all, to be honest. In that last UFC video that I posted, I did say that I did not think Michael Chandler was going to end up fighting McGregor. I did not see it happening. But that's not me saying, like, oh, I made a crazy prediction. That was a pretty safe prediction to make, no matter who you were, right? But I did say that he probably wasn't going to fight Chandler, and I'm going to double down and say that, yeah, I still don't think he's going to fight Chandler. I just don't see it happening. And now that we're talking about Michael Chandler, let's go ahead and discuss that real quick. Michael Chandler, I've heard words, and I've seen some reports where it's saying that he might fight Max Holloway for the BMF belt. I did already want to see that fight. I said that in the last UFC breakdown video I did. I still want to see that fight. That would be interesting, and I think the winner of that will probably end up fighting McGregor, because I think that would be really good. If McGregor gets one more fight in the UFC, make it for a BMF belt, I think that would be big. I think they might go that route with it. I don't know for sure. Just a fan once again. But basically, you've got Michael Chandler potentially versus Holloway. That could happen, and it might happen. and I think it probably will happen. They fight, winner goes against McGregor, McGregor retires, if he even fights again and does that fight. But if he does fight again, it probably would be somewhere in relation to that, because it's not going to be for a title, you know, obviously. But it could be for a BMF title. I don't know. That's just kind of, that's where I'm at on that, right? But anyways, let's keep moving. UFC 303, Anthony Smith. Let's talk about Lionheart, bro. Like, Anthony Smith is one of my favorite fighters, and this is exactly why. No way he gets that. No way. Oh my, he tapped. Oh my gosh. No.
He got slammed.
He got slammed.
And then choked him out.
Yeah, he was on the L, and he was getting rocked on his feet, but somehow he came out of that. Dude, that's crazy. He's fighting short notice on UFC 303. Don't remember who he's going against at this moment in time. But that's because he replaced Jamal Hill, I believe. Jamal Hill was originally going to fight whoever he's fighting. I don't remember exactly, like I said, who he's fighting. But the main thing there is Anthony Smith anyway, right? He's coming on. He either fought at UFC 301 or 302. Either way, he just fought, right? And now he's taking another fight. And not just another fight. He's fighting on short notice. If he wins this, that's going to be big. You need to watch Anthony Smith when this fight happens this weekend, right? Okay. Or the weekend for me recording this. Whatever. Anyways, Anthony Smith, you need to watch him. He's on that, right? Short notice fight. Let's move into Paddy Pimblett. He's not fighting at UFC 303. He wasn't ever, you know, this is random because he wasn't ever, you know, supposed to fight, right? But I just want to put it out there that no one's talking about Paddy Pimblett right now, really. And I want to know what's up with him. I need to look more into it. If you know more about Paddy Pimblett, please drop it in the comments. Because, like, I'm trying to figure out, this guy was on it. He's stardom. He was building up. He was doing great. And he's just not fighting. And I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm including that in the breakdown because we need to figure out what's going on with Paddy Pimblett, right? But anyways, moving on from that random side note, who to watch? Who do I think you need to watch at this UFC event? Peyton Talbot. If you don't know who Peyton Talbot is, I believe he's fighting on the undercard. He might be on the main card and towards the bottom. I don't know, but I think he's on the undercard. Dude's 8-0, undefeated, professionally. He has pressure like Sean Strickland. He's got knockout power like Alex Pereira. He's not afraid to submit you too. One of those 8 fights was from submission, so he's got the submissions too. Takedown defense, super high up on Peyton Talbot, right? I think he's defended like 90% of all takedowns that have been attempted on him in his career or something like that. But the dude's got it all. He's a full package. He's undefeated. Not enough people are talking about him. The people that are, in it, the real UFC fans and then the UFC fanatics and the professionals, they know about Peyton Talbot already. But if you're just a fan and you don't know about Peyton Talbot, make sure you go to the undercard and you watch him fight, because that's going to be crazy. And if he wins that, 9-0, a phenom. I think he's a bantamweight. I don't really remember. But he's got the hairstyle like Sean O'Malley, so there's a good chance, I could see a Sean O'Malley fight happening. If he wins this fight, another couple fights, he might end up against Sean O'Malley. And that's just, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. And he's a bad matchup for anybody. Dangerous fighter. Watch Peyton Talbot on this UFC event. I think he will win, but I don't know for sure. I'm not going to bet on it. I'm not suggesting betting on it. But I do think he's going to win, and I do think he's going to end up being a star. It's early to say. People fall off. Paddy Pimblett, like I said, was supposed to be a star, and he is. But he's not fighting now that he's gotten more famous. Same thing with Khamzat Chimaev, and that was another thing there. He should be fighting more too, but he got sick or injured or something as well. A lot of these big guys, they become a big name, and a lot of them fight less, because they want to preserve that name. They want to, ride that out, and I get that. But if Peyton Talbot doesn't ride it out, and he just fights actively, and he keeps doing what he's doing, dude's a threat. Watch for Peyton Talbot. That's going to be crazy. I hope I pronounced his name right. I'm bad with that. But anyway, on to the main event at UFC. Okay, so, real quick, I don't know if I made this clear yet or not about Peyton Talbot, but Peyton Talbot, just a few more side notes, right? Trains with DDP, current middleweight champion, right? He has striking accuracy, okay? And let me pull it up real quick. Peyton Talbot, from what I'm seeing here in the stats, he has a 54% accuracy rate, landing strikes. He also has, and it says this too, he also has an 8.05 significant strikes per minute while only absorbing, 3.58. These are impressive numbers. If you don't know, stats in the UFC, just know these are impressive numbers, okay? And I think I might have already said this, but a 90% takedown defensive rate. I mean, and he's versatile. He's got wins by submissions, knockouts. He can defend takedowns. Trains with DDP, current middleweight champion, who beat Sean Strickland. That's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna get into all that, but I kind of think Sean Strickland should have beat DDP. I mean, he did. I think he won that, but it was close. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. So either way, not mad about it as a fan. I'm just saying, it could have gone either way there. I do think, and while we're on it, I do think Sean Strickland should get that. Since we're talking about a UFC breakdown, right? I think Sean Strickland should get that rematch with DDP. I think they're giving it to Izzy. That's fair. Izzy was champion for a long time, but whoever wins that better go against Sean, unless Sean loses before that, right? That's just my look at that. But, back to Peyton Talbot. I think he entered the UFC in 2021. I'm not sure if all of his 8 professional fights... I know he's had professional fights outside of the UFC, so I think his 8 professional fights, only a few of them were in the UFC. But regardless, he's 8-0 undefeated in professional fights, and that's no easy feat. So just keep that in mind. I'm telling you, watch Peyton Talbot, but let's continue. I just had to put that out there real quick. C303, the other big thing that they're talking about right now, and this is the fight that I believe replaced Conor McGregor versus Chandler. To the main event now. The other biggest thing that people are talking about besides the Conor McGregor, information and news, everyone's talking about the main events with Alex Pereira versus Yuri. Insert name there. I can't say his last name. Not even going to try. But they're going against each other. 2 extremely high-level fighters. Alex already beat Yuri once. But Yuri was coming back from a 2-year layoff injury. If he trained hard, and now that he knows what to expect from Alex, this could go differently. I do think Alex will still pull off the W, but could go to Yuri. You can't count him out here. You cannot count him out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna. I mean, I think Alex is gonna win, but anything could happen. And I think this is an interesting fight. If Yuri loses, though, that's really gonna hurt his fighter stock, right? Because then he's going to have to really work his way probably through 2 or 3 more fights again to get back to that title contention. That said, I respect Alex for doing this rematch, but I don't see this increasing his stock that much because he's already beaten Yuri once and it was pretty decisive victory. It was a knockout, I think a TKO or something. I'm not sure, but you look at that and it's like, okay, well, Alex wins. He needs to start racking up names. He's got already a bunch of names. He's beaten a lot of the high level people, but and beating Yuri again it's not gonna, if he wins, it's not gonna lower his stock, but it's just like, it's not gonna really increase it as much as maybe in fighting and beating someone else who's really good that he hasn't faced yet. That's all I'm saying there. But if Alex wins, I see him going up and fighting for the heavyweight belt and trying to become a double champ in that sense, maybe simultaneously even. I don't know. It's only been done by a handful of fighters, and he's already got those 2 weight division belts. Why not? So that would be insane, right? He might be. John Jones would still probably be the greatest of all time, right? Followed by Khabib Nurmagomedov. But if Alex gets a 3rd belt, he would be a 3 division title holder in the UFC. I don't even know if there's been one of those yet, right? And then he might also be a simultaneous belt holder, right? And he's not scared to fight. He's fighting actively, man. He's fighting actively, you know? Like, that's crazy. So, if he wins this, this could be huge. I see him going up and fighting for heavyweight or defending his belt one more time before he fights at heavyweight. At light heavyweight, defend that belt one more time, because then the UFC will probably let him hold that belt and fight for heavyweight and have it simultaneously. He might be the first fighter, and this is a stretch, but he might be the first fighter to ever hold belts simultaneously and actually defend them simultaneously. Like, imagine Alex wins this, goes up, wins heavyweight, gets that title belt, goes back down, fights and defends the light heavyweight again, and then goes back up again to defend the heavyweight, right? For the first time, first defense. If he did that, he might be better than John Jones. Like, he's not undefeated, but, like, to do something like that that's never been done, that really can't, it really shouldn't be possible, really. If he were to make it possible, he'd be the new GOAT. That's all I'm saying. He might rival and beat John Jones. John Jones might be undefeated, but let's not forget, John Jones did have a DQ. John Jones, that's really all you can say about John Jones. He's pretty flawless in there. But, you know, there's been moments where, you know, there's some questionable things that took place. You know, it is John Jones, right? But if Alex were to do that with the simultaneous belts, that's interesting. So really, we want to see what happens at this UFC fight. Kind of hope that Alex wins. Actually, but I do really like Yuri, though. And if Yuri won, that'd be really motivational and inspiring. Last note I got to make, right, if we're doing a UFC breakdown, I totally didn't mention this because I just now saw this, right? But Ian Gary versus Michael Venom Page, that I am probably the most excited for, because, dude, it doesn't matter who wins that fight, right? It's gonna be an interesting outcome, because if Ian Gary wins, he's undefeated. He's, you know, he's the guy, right? If Michael Venom Page wins, he'll be undefeated in the UFC. I don't know if he's undefeated overall or not. I don't know, but he will be undefeated in the UFC, I believe, right? And so either of them winning could really propel them to a potential title shot or get them at least very close to it. So that's going to be a fight to watch as well. I think you watch the Ian Gary Michael Venom Page fight. You watch the Talbot fight, and then obviously main event, and then you also watch the Anthony Smith fight. Those 5 ones are the ones to watch right now. I think be watching those fights, and then also be looking for that Conor fight and that Michael Chandler Holloway fight. Those are the fights you're going to want to watch right now, in my opinion, as a fan. I don't know. That's where I'm at, though. That's I'm just putting that out there. Anyways, I don't know. That's my UFC breakdown going into UFC 303. You know, those are the main topics and items that I'm kind of looking at right now, and I'm watching as a fan. Let me know what you guys are interested to see in the UFC coming up, what you think about UFC 303, and what you think about, you know, just the whole of the UFC and what you're looking at right now. Let me know about what you think about Topuria. Let me know about what you think about O'Malley. Let me know about some up-and-coming fighters that I don't know about that you might need to watch that not many people are watching. You know what I mean? Some of those niche kind of targets. Anyway, I'm looking at I'm looking at Peyton Talbot, but he's kind of getting a little bit more known. If you know somebody even more low-key in that to watch, I'd love to see it, but drop it in the comments. Anyways, I don't know if that was a long or short video. I don't know. I tried to make it as short as I could. Don't want it to carry on too long, but I hope you enjoyed. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, push notifications, dislikes, at me, hashtag it, everything. That's it for the video. I'm out. Thanks for watching.